Hello, hello. Welcome back to Smart AF, the show where we cut through the noise and give you the facts straight up. In 2016, I moved to Australia with almost no English. I had a bachelor's degree, 5 years of business experience, and a little bit of savings. I also carried a lot of hope and a strong belief that I was going to succeed. I was younger, single, and without kids, and that gave me an advantage. But even with that, starting over was brutal. I found myself cleaning bathrooms for homestay students, running papers through the rain at dawn, and later moving to New Zealand, where I lived in a small house with 6 people and barely had the confidence to speak English. I cried, I doubted myself, and more than once I thought about packing it all up and going home. Yet I also taught Spanish to university students, worked night shifts in a factory, and by pure luck, I landed a job in an academic library. That was the start of my librarianship career. I even went on to complete a master's degree. Almost 20 years later, I look back and I cannot believe the path that got me here. Here's what I learned. Starting over is messy, but science actually explains why it feels so hard and how some people find ways to adapt and thrive. Whether you're moving countries, changing careers, or rebuilding after a major life shift, these lessons can help you not just survive, but create the wonderful life you deserve and be willing to risk everything to get. Okay, now let us move on to the lessons. These are the patterns that science says will give you a better chance to succeed when you are starting from zero. Lesson 1, build social connections early. When I first arrived, I was shy, my English was basic, and I didn't know anyone. That made life incredibly lonely, and it slowed down my adaptation. Science backs this up. Psychologist John Barry's research on acculturation shows that integration, building relationships with both your own community and your new one, is the strongest predictor of successful adaptation. And Robert Putnam's work on social capital makes it clear the more connections you have, the better your health, resilience, and opportunities. So if I had to start again, I would put energy into building friendships early. Even small networks like a study group, a local sports club, or volunteering can make a massive difference. Do not wait until you feel desperate. Connection is not optional, it is a survival strategy. Lesson 2, reframe the survival jobs. Cleaning bathrooms was not glamorous, running papers at dawn was exhausting, and packing in a factory at night was tough. But those jobs paid my bills, gave me structure, and even gave me pride. I loved leaving those homestay bathrooms sparkling clean because it felt like I was making someone's life better. Science calls this cognitive reappraisal, reframing how you see a difficult situation. Studies in occupational psychology show that when people see survival jobs as progress rather than failure, their stress levels go down and resilience goes up. So here is the lesson. Survival jobs are not setbacks, they are stepping stones. And the attitude you bring to them matters more than the title on your payslip. Lesson 3, adopt a growth mindset and resilience habits. There were so many times I wanted to give up. But slowly, I built confidence. I applied for different roles, and eventually I found my way into a library job. That role changed everything. It gave me purpose, a paycheck that enabled me to invest, and it pushed me to complete my master's degree. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls this a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. And researcher George Bonanno found that resilience is not rare. It is actually the most common outcome after hardship. Most people can adapt, but only if they keep moving and allow themselves to learn through mistakes. So if I had to start over, I would remind myself that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are part of the learning process. You do not need to be fearless, you just need to keep going. Lesson 4, be honest about advantages and limitations. Here's the truth. I had some advantages. I was younger, I did not have children to support, and I had a small financial cushion. That gave me flexibility to take risks. But even with those advantages, it was still hard. Behavioral economics explains why. Humans are prone to optimism bias. We underestimate how hard things will be, and we overestimate how quickly we will succeed. Recognizing both your privileges and your limitations helps you plan more realistically. So, if I had to start again, I would be more honest with myself about what I did and did not have, and I would plan accordingly. Starting over, whether it is in a new country, a new job, or a new stage of life, is always going to be hard. The science is clear. You need connection, reframing, resilience, and honest planning. And if I had to do it differently, I would save more money before making the leap. I would work harder on becoming fluent in the language because Confidence in communication changes everything, and definitely I would build friendships earlier and put myself out there more instead of hiding in my shyness. Looking back, I would not change the tears or the struggles because they made me who I am today. But if I had to start from zero again, this is how I would do it smarter. That's it for today's episode of Smart AF. And remember, making informed decisions are your right. So before you believe the hype, get Smart AF. See you soon. Thanks for listening. Do you know someone that can use this info? Please share this video with them. If you found this interesting, a thumbs up and subscribe would be awesome. And tap that bell so you never miss an update.